markets at noon with me, Ankita Saxena and Kanishka Sarkar, and we're getting you how to play this market and how the market is likely to shape up. Now, the Indian economy is growing by 6.3% in 2025-26, with the World Bank retaining its GDP growth forecast for the current fiscal. My colleague Varun is joining in with the details of that. Over to you, Varun.
Well, for India, if you look, World Bank has actually, kept their overall GDP forecast unchanged, but a little bit changed with, reducing the overall forecast by around 0.4% for FY25, calendar year 2025, and around 0.2% for calendar year 2026. But they have also reduced the overall GDP forecast for the world as a whole from 2.7% to 2.3% in the calendar year 2025. That's a cut of around 0.4%. Now, they say that the overall pace of growth would be the weakest since last 17 years, that is since 2008. And also, this is the fifth time after 2019 that World Bank has actually cut the overall GDP growth forecast for the world as a whole. Now, they say there are two reasons basically because of which they have actually cut the overall GDP forecast. And the first among them is the trade war situation that is evolving because of US, and the other is the political uncertainty going on globally, because of which they have cut their overall GDP forecast. Also, the World Bank says that the overall GDP forecast for around 70% of the economies have been cut, and the slower growth is expected in nearly 60% of the developing economies this year. Also, they say that the low-income countries are actually, the overall GDP has been tripped by around 0.4 percentage point to now 5.3%. They say that they are not expecting a recession, but yes, the investment growth that has slowed down in actually developing economies, and also the overall debt situation has actually risen. Along with India and world, they have also cut their overall GDP forecast for US, for Euro area, and also for Japan, but they have not made any changes to the GDP forecast for China. Also, they say that if at all the trade tensions reduces, the global growth can be rebounded, and with if the overall tariff they are halved by around 50%, so that could actually lead to overall boost in GDP by around 0.2 percentage point for 2025 and 26. But right now the overall tensions are not looking like they are abating, and that's the reason they have cut the world GDP and also India's GDP forecast for 2025 and 26.